Hello everybody, SVTWRC here. We are in the Fiesta ST. I have these... What the heck was that? Something just fell from a tree, fell on the car. Well, this might have been a lot of people's first turbo car. So that's completely understandable because there is a learning curve that goes with, especially if you're going to modify them, and the noises that they make, the noises they'll produce stock, and the noises that they'll make when something's wrong. Now the stock airbox in the STI was very quiet as well. So because I have the stock recirculating valve, you're not going to hear any blow-off valve. But what you're going to hear is the bypass valve through this cone intake. Now if you have the stock intake like this, because this whole intake track is closed up and this isn't an open cone filter, you should only hear a faint bypass blow-off valve from the stock airbox. If you have a leak pre-turbo in your intake track, you may hear the blow-off valve really loud. I have another video that goes into detail all of these hose clamps to check for any vacuum and or boost leaks on the intake and the intercooler side. Now, the difference between a bypass valve and a blow-off valve is the bypass valve sends that air back into the intake track, and a blow-off valve blows that air off into the atmosphere. The one really important one that I believe is the one that's screwing everybody up, you can get to by just taking the headlight off. Now that's really awesome because you might have had to take off the whole entire front end, the whole front clip, but now you only have to take off that one headlight to get to it. Or if you want to check the other one, you take the other headlight off too. So I'll show you how to do that without messing anything up. Let's hear what my STI's aftermarket cone filter sounds like. Now, let's go for a drive in the Fiesta ST. Same thing here. You shouldn't hear too much because it's a stock airbox with a stock filter. Notice how we shifted at redline and there was no bypass or blow-off noise. So on the Fiesta with the stock box, a little bit of sound is okay at low speed. Once you're moving, the wind noise makes it harder to hear the sound. That's why it's easier to hear at a slower speed. Moving the headlight is very simple. You have one clip down here, you have one bolt, and it's a flat blade screwdriver. The other one is up here, and then the electrical connection is down here next to your washer bottle. So you can just carefully pull up on it. This is the type of clip you're working with. It's all plastic. And then the next one. Small fingers help, which I don't have. So you can use like a flat blade screwdriver just to depress this while it's in there. And then once you have those other two bolts removed, a little piece of plastic that holds it into there. And the other problem is you have two little pieces of plastic that sit down in here. So what you need to do is you need to take the lens here and move it backwards and up and out of the way. And out. And here are those two plastic tabs I'm talking about. That's why you want to either get it out that way, and when you put it back in, you want to slide it back in this way so it doesn't damage any of the lip here. This is the best way to get a good look at this intercooler coupler here without having to take the whole entire front end off. This coupler wants to back itself off here, so you just want to make sure it's really, really tight. Okay, here's an awesome trick for your old socks that may have a hole in them. So once you cut a hole in the toe of the sock that you've got a hole in, you can put it over. Now your arm is protected, your sleeve's protected when you have to get down into those tight areas where you're going to be rubbing your arm against different pieces of metal when you're too lazy to take the whole entire front end off.